Hi, this is a sped playthrough of Farmer Olaf with my family. We will be playing on a table, so you can see the cards. However, the same game can be played without a table. I give players small cheat sheet cards with all actions they can do. To start a game, each player draws one card from 4 infrastructure cards that are Yakshed, Borpen, Field and Meadow. Then I give each player 4 cards. Aga starts with a field, so she can take advantage of best cards, which are Steam Tractor and Harvester. However, she can't start unless she buys or collects dung from a yak or a boar. Julia has best situation, since she already got a boar and boarpen, so she just needs to collect enough forage cards to make ham. I deal one card to each player in following turns. If no one performs an action, I continue with the next turn. In this turn, Julia could do her first action and make ham from a boar and 3 forage cards. She collects her first green card, ham, which is worth 3 points. She now has a dirty boarpen and will have to clean it in order to use it for the next boar. In the next turn, Aga draws a boar trader card. I give Aga another card since the trader card is just an event. This means any player can exchange a boar card for a new one. Aga has 2 meadows, but she needs only one, so she announces she can trade this card if someone needs it. I have the same situation with 2 fields. However, no one wants to buy meadow or a field, so we continue to the next round. Aga can now feed an alpaca. I have cards ready to sow and harvest a field. However, I lack dung to do it. I announced that I would like to buy a dung card from others when they have it. Julia decides to clean a boarpen using 1 dwarf and now she can trade it. I'm pretty determined to get her dung card, so I offer her 2 cards for it. She doesn't agree though. Aga does an action of shearing an alpaca using 2 dwarfs and she gets a wool card worth 3 points. In the next turn, I'm trying to buy a boar from Julia, so I could make ham and then would obtain a dung orange card needed to sow my field. However, she declines, which is good decision, since she just needs 1 more forage card to make a ham from a boar. So I offer once again 2 cards for a dung orange card she has, and this time she agrees. Now she has 3 forage cards, a boar and a clean boarpen, so she can collect ham worth 3 points again. And I can finally sow my field using Steam Tractor and dung. I also have 2 dwarfs ready to harvest the field in the next turn. Julia once again cleans boarpen using 1 dwarf, and this time she decides to collect a new card instead of a dung. I harvest the field collecting drain green card worth 3 points and additionally a forage card. Aga needs one more forage to feed her alpaca, and then she could use 2 dwarfs to shear it. Julia wants to buy a forage and offers a dwarf. I agree, so I could milk a yak if only I borrow a yak shed from Aga. Now negotiations start. I ask Aga what she needs. She wants a forage card. I try to convince Aga that if I give her a dirty yak shed card back, she might be able to clean it and collect a dang orange card so she can sow her field. We agree and I borrow a yak shed, give her back a dirty yak shed, and I give her a forage card for this. Now I can feed and milk the cow using 2 forage cards and collect a milk card worth 2 points. Then I return a yak shed card to Aga so she can clean it and receive a dang orange card. In the next turn, Julia makes another ham, collecting more points. Aga proceeds with feeding an alpaca. In this turn, Aga shears an alpaca for a wool card worth 3 points. Now Julia has a yak card that she doesn't need and offers it for trade. Aga asks what Julia needs. She thinks about getting a field since she has 2 dwarfs but can't decide yet. So they don't trade. I offer to buy a dang from Aga, but she doesn't want to sell it. A next trader card is drawn, this time for yaks. Julia decides to exchange a yak for a new card. In the same turn, Aga feeds an alpaca again. Now, having a steam tractor and dwarfs ready, I really should try to buy that dang from Aga. However, I don't do it. And this is my big mistake. Aga collects another wool card worth 3 points. Now Julia cleans a ball pen and she decides to collect a new card instead of a dunk. Here I should really make a deal with her and offer her several good cards she needs for a dunk. However, I cannot convince her. For example, I could offer her one forage and another forage card after harvesting my field. And then she could make another ham and I could collect points for a field. However, I didn't think about it and we continue the game. I try to borrow a yak shed from Aga this time, so I can milk a yak and collect the dung that I desperately need. However, I don't have any cards I could offer Aga for this. Now Julia offers to buy a field for a forage. I totally go for it, since I have a spare field. However, we both need a dung to start sowing our fields. Now I can make ham. Aga now has a spare yak shed and she offers it to me. However, now I'm not interested, since I've just made ham and will get a dung from cleaning my ball pen. I clean the ball pen and collect dung. Julia desperately needs a dung and offers a deal to Aga. She could offer even 4 dwarf cards for this card. Finally, Julia manages to make a deal by offering just 2 dwarfs. And now she can sow a field. I also sow my field too, which I shouldn't do because this is still the same turn. It's my mistake, sorry. Aga now probably regrets trading since she has everything to sow and harvest a field but lacks a dung. I and Julia harvest our fields for points and forage. I trade with Aga and give her cow and forage for 2 dwarfs. Aga feeds and milks the yak. If I manage to gather dung and 1 more dwarf, I can collect points for a field again. I trade forage for a worker with Julia. She can now make ham and I have all cards needed for a field, except dung. I plan to trade with someone in next turn so I can get it. So far, no one agrees to my proposals. We have an alpaca trader event this time, so anyone can trade alpaca for a new card. However, last card is dealt and this means the end of game. Everyone can perform 2 actions now and then we will count our points. Julia has 5 cards worth 3 points each, so 15 points in total. Aga scores 4 cards worth 3 points and 1 milk card worth 2 points, so 14 points in total. I've got only 12 points. So Julia wins and we finish the game. I hope you enjoyed this quick playthrough. Thanks for watching, and if you like it, please support Farmer Olaf game on a Kickstarter.